Hello, this is Nest Tilson, and this is a video to show how to use the new import texture feature of Polyboard. This feature allows us to apply to any panel an image file. This image file can be anything, come from anywhere. It can be a photo you've taken, it can be something you've taken off the web, and it's very handy, neat feature for adding decorative effects to panels. Of course, these decorative effects are not machinable from the Polyboard file. You'll have to add these decorative effects to your machine code if you're using a CNC, and they do not in any way affect the structure of the panel. But it's a very good presentation tool if you need to model and show somebody or show yourself what different styles of paneling can do for a design. So how do we do this? Here we have an example of a double cabinet with sculptured doors. The sculpturing is only an image file which I've applied to the doors. How do we use this? Well, let's get out of the 3D here and go back into the 2D here, and let's just take away the sculptured door material and start with something which is just simple. Let's just take, for instance, let's just take away the sculptured door material and go back to a simple panel material. Okay, here we have two panel doors underneath a little buffet. How would I apply to these two panels a decorative effect and how would I get that decorative effect into Polyboard? Well, I'm going to show you how to do this. First thing we need some sort of decorative effect. So one of the easiest ways of getting a decorative effect is just go onto Google. If we go onto Google here and we just say look for some doors, let's put some cabinet doors, and Google will come up with some images for cabinet doors. Let's go into see what sort of images we have here for cabinet doors, and I can take any one of these cabinet doors from Google and apply it to my Polyboard model. Well, what's the easiest way of doing it? Let's take for instance, what you're looking for here is a cabinet or an image which is going to fit the proportions of the cabinet, approximately the proportions of the cabinet you're going to build. And we need a clean image, as we don't need any extra edging and stuff like this. So for instance, here we have a sculptured image. Let's go into Google and have a look at this sculptured image. We can see that this door here is a framed beaded door with some sculpting. We can see also that there is a white border around this image here. The white border is going to annoy us if we put it onto a panel, because we were going to get the white border as well. So the best way I would do to capture this image, I mean, if the image was completely without the white, I could just right click and save as it's got a white border around it. It's quite a good idea to use a capture program. A capture program would allow you to just capture the edges here, but I haven't got a capture program for the time being running on this computer. So let's take another cabinet. Let's go back, let's try and find something which is just without any border. Let's just take something simple without any border, just one photo, and we can find something. For instance, this one here. Here we have a cabinet just in wood. I'm going to put this into my Polyboard model. How do I do that? I just right click and I say let's save the image as, and let's just put it on my office desk for the time being. I put it on my office desk, and okay, it's written cabinet door mission. So I just saving that file onto my office desk. Let's get out of Google now. Say we want to put that file onto our cabinet. Well, how do we do that? Well, what we have to do is we go into the libraries and create a panels material. Let's say we'll create a new panel material and call it mission door. this is going to be mission door. Let's give this panel a thickness. So we say we have our mission door is thickness of 22 mil. We're going to give it a grain direction and a description. So we say this is an image file for a mission door. And now what we want to do is, leaving the color at neutral, let's go in to get the texture. Let's run in to get the texture, and the texture was going to be our image file, cabinet door mission. I grabbed that from my office desk, and then we click into advanced, and there's two ways of putting this image onto our, we can either use a mosaic, or we can take it as an applied image. I'm going to use applied image here, and if I click OK, we now have created a new material. Let's go into our cabinet here, and let's say that on this door here, instead of having a beech 22 material, what we want is a mission door material. Let's go into the other door as well, and instead of having a beech 22, we want a mission door material. And now let's have a look. And here we have the two doors which have come in to Polyboard as we can open the doors and close the doors. They've come into Polyboard and been applied to the doors. Well, we can see that they're actually not aligned. They're not the uprights. The doors are actually come in as sort of horizontally. What would be pretty good is if they were vertical. So let's go into each panel here, and in the rotation, the materials rotation, let's just add 90 degrees. So I go into this one here, materials rotation, 90 degrees. And now when I go into our base cabinet, they've turned the two doors to 90 degrees, and we have two doors which have come straight off of Google, and we've just put them into our cabinet, which is pretty neat. And the effect is quite good, but we're not getting manufacturing files. Now what is interesting is you can set up different materials. For instance, here we have different materials that have been set up. I've set up a material here for mission door pretty easily. I've set up a material here for a sculptured door. So I could always add, if I just change, for instance, the materials of the doors, let's change the material of door 1, and instead of having missioned, let's have a sculptured door. And we here now have a sculptured door. If I change the material again, and instead of a sculptured door we put a beaded door, I have the effect of the beaded door. Now the beaded door effect here is not really a beaded door. It's just a photo that I put on it. I've actually included the handle. It's a photo that I have retouched a bit and added a handle to it. So the interesting thing here is, for instance, if I want to put in on this side here, this door here, let's put in the handle door, beaded door. On the other door we put in a handle door left, and I get effect here of the image file containing the handle will give me the effect of the handle. Okay, so of course it's not in 3D and we are flat, but we can now use Polyboard to display hardware for a decorative effect for showing customers, simply by adding an image file to a panel. And as you can see, the effect is not 100% fantastic because we're not in 3D, but it still gives a decent effect for the cabinet. An interesting point is that if you need to change the image on a panel, you can just go into libraries. Let's change the language. We're actually in French. Let's go into English. Let's go into libraries, and if we change, we have here let's take a beaded door effect. So we're going to put in the beaded door effect. We can take the panel's material called beaded door, And if we apply a different type of door to this particular panel, open it up, and let's make sure that advanced is okay in stretch mode, that's application mode stretch and not mosaic, and I click OK, we can now see that everything's got beaded door is automatically updated with the new image. So let's go into and get the other door to update as well, beaded door, and I'll put this one on beaded door, and now we have a cabinet which has completely changed design simply by applying a different image file to the panel. Right, I hope that's been interesting for you, and I hope it gives you an idea of how simple and powerful and easy for presentation purposes this new feature of Polyboard can be. Thank you very much for looking, and I hope to see you in another video.